It is time for yet another very late and very uninformed movie review. Today is The Empire Strikes Back. Oh man, this movie. Now, a lot of people say this movie is their favorite of the original trilogy. So we're going to go down to my notes. Now, first offense, because I'm going to be nitpicky. There's no mention of Darth Vader's ship spinning off into space and being wrecked. Fine, whatever. No one seems surprised on either side. Whatever. I'm not sure the year differential between New Hope and this movie, and I don't care to look it up. So that's whatever. First of all, we got snowy Hoth planet. Hoth planet? Snowy planet. Too cold. Too damn cold. I hate it. Too cold. Can't do it. Can't do it. Too damn cold. And I also don't buy why Han is still here. Now, I understand he helped him out and whatever, and he's kind of a good guy. But then he's immediately going to leave him. Like, that's the Han I know, because he's got to pay some debts. Why he didn't just pay his debts already? And he's like, I guess I'm going to be a rebel now for a couple weeks or months or however long, 10 years, I don't know. The best part of this movie is the noticeable production value increase. Got a lot of cool stuff here, like snow. Snow costs money. But the beginning of this movie, maybe it's because I know what's going to happen, is that it's just kind of boring. Not in like a bad way, but it's just kind of slow. It's like, oh, Luke got captured by a snowman, the abominable snowman, and alright, snowman. Now here we get to the actual part that has some issues going on. Their relationship makes no sense to me. They are constantly arguing, and not in like a cute old married couple way. Like, it seems like she genuinely hates him, and he is constantly badgering her. And they do it also in this really like juvenile way where they're constantly talking about kissing. Like, it's really weird. It doesn't make any sense. Clearly he can tell that she likes him, but it doesn't make any sense when they're yelling at each other like this. They're yelling at each other like she was molested or something. Like, Han did something bad, and we'll get to assault later because it happens. Other note, Darth Vader's helmet looks good now, because in the first one it kind of looked like cardboard. It needed to be shiny, and now it be shiny. We'll move down. Now, I didn't get a picture of it, but when Luke is frozen, he looks like a zombie, and I really like that picture. I couldn't find a picture of it, though. I'm not quite sure what this death egg is with Vader, but I like it. It's weird, but I like it. Now, here he sees a vision. This is the key problem. He tells no one where he is going. And you might be saying, well, of course he wouldn't, because then they could tell, the Empire where Luke is. But they don't know the Empire is looking for Luke. And furthermore, I don't even know how Vader knows that's Luke, or knows his name. It doesn't no one ever tells him that, do they? Do they tell him? Do they tell Luke? Do they tell Darth Vader that is Luke? That is Luke Skywalker. I don't think anyone ever mentioned it. I don't think anyone ever told him. He just knows for the Force. That doesn't mean you know people's names, does it? I don't know. It's never explained. Again, the juvenile kissing. It's not good. I mean, they have decent chemistry, all of them, except for C-3PO. But I don't buy it. I don't buy it at all, and we're going to get more into that later with the assault. Now, for a different type of assault, Attack on Hoth is great. But it's been in so many video games and other scenes now that I feel underwhelmed by it. Because I've seen it so many damn times. And they give them these dumbass helmets. Constantly with this series. Dumbass helmets. Again, another problem. Luke immediately is like, oh, let's trip him. But it doesn't say let's trip him with the harpoon wire. He just says use your harpoon. And everyone in the fleet knows. I guess we use harpoons now, and that's what we do. We fly around, shoopity-shoopity-shoo. And then they shoot the top of it, and it blows up in like 2 shots. What? Oh, I forget. That deactivates the shield or something. It's something weird. They rationalize it. That's right. They rationalize it. before we get to that. Before we get down to that. Okay. Oh yeah, they separate Luke from Han and Leia. And that's interesting because it actually is something they do a lot in the prequels, where they'll separate Obi-Wan and Anakin for like the entirety of episode 2 and 3. And then bring them back together, which I think is actually a really good format and very interesting. Now, the borderline assault that happens when they're escaping and then they're landing inside the giant worm asteroid. This isn't right. This is I picking up some real skeevy vibes from Han in this scene. And granted, they do kiss and it does seem mutual, but it was really, she sure takes off pretty quick. I mean, C-3PO is a robot. Why are you embarrassed by this robot man? Bounty Hunter is cool. They're shown for like 5 seconds. I don't know where everyone gets all crazy about them. I always liked the scene of where they're like, oh shit, we are inside a creature. That is cool. That is original. That's awesome. Great. Great. These are great things about this movie. Great things. We're also halfway through the freaking movie and like nothing's happened. Yoda. Great. Kind of hard to hear, which is weird. Maybe I'm losing my hearing. I don't know. Who knows? Kind of hard to hear. So we're going to move on a little bit. Yoda. This scene. Not sure what it means. I'm not sure why there was this area of the cave forest is strong with the dark side. Why? Why here? You're Yoda. Why are you so close to the dark side area? Did you know this was going to happen? How did Luke get out of this cave? A lot of questions. There's a lot of problems here too, because he has another recollection. This is his training moment. There was no montage, but I understood training happened without the montage. Now, Yoda, someone who Luke agrees with as being the supreme Jedi in the universe, galaxy, whatever. He explicitly disobeys Yoda. I gotta go save my friends. But Yoda, who is basically like God, is telling you no. And then Ben Kenobi also telling you, no, don't do that, Luke. That's a bad move. And yet he still goes. And then we get the ominous there is another, which is Leia. Or is it? I think it might not be Leia. I think it might be some other space alien. Who the hell knows? Who cares? Cloud City, great. Cloud City's great. Cool design, makes no sense. Why would you put a city in the clouds? On a little stick, is it flying? Is the thing flying? That sure seems like it takes a lot of energy. Now Lando, people like Lando, but he's in like 3 scenes, and he's a dick in 2 out of 3 scenes. So I don't get that either. There is better dialogue in this movie than in probably any of the prequels for sure, and in 4. But it's just so contrived. A lot of these things, like they get in an asteroid, and they have to escape again, and they hide on the back of the Star Destroyer, and then they do this. It's just constantly everything's broken. Millennium Falcon is broken for like 3 hours in this movie. And Lando's a creep. Everyone's a creep to Leia in this movie. Whoa, didn't mean to do that. This is cool. Torture's not cool. Torture bad. Torture bad. Make sure you tell your parents. There's no reason for him to be tortured. He knows nothing. They're not even asking him questions, really. I guess you could get the rendezvous point for the. It doesn't matter. It makes no sense. Tree rebuilding C-3PO. Also kind of unnecessary, but cool and very infamous. I love him on the back and he's flipping around. That's fun. That's a fun time. Not a fun time. Carbonite, not a fun time. Also on Cloud City, they're apparently so much in a relationship now. They're kissing and holding hands like a bunch of weirdos. I don't buy it. I buy the Han and Leia relationship in this movie just as much as I buy the Anakin Padme relationship from episode 2. It is just as logical because they've shown no evidence for these characters to even like each other that much. They yell at each other for half the movie. And he borderline assaults her on the ship. And then I really did like it. I was just playing hard to get because I'm a psycho. But this movie's good. This movie's good. It's just got a lot of weird problems. And I don't. Now here's where it gets good though, because at the end it's kind of like a slow build. It's not a lot of cool things. You know they're gonna escape. You know they wouldn't kill Han and Leia and get captured in the middle of the movie. So you know they're gonna escape. Then we get to the end. The end is the best part of the film for sure. This fight. I mean, I haven't seen Return of the Jedi in a long time. This fight probably the best lightsaber fight, unless the one in Jedi gets better. So good, so perfect. The I'm your father moment, great, still great. Acting, a little kind of funny. A little kind of, no. It's a little too much. It's a little over the top. A little too much, but great. I'm not quite sure why you would build something like this, but it looks cool. Now, I cruised through this movie because there's not a lot to talk about. It's a very empty movie. They spent so much time on Hoth really doing nothing. They spent so much time with Yoda, not really doing a lot. A lot of time in the ship, Millennium Falcon. What are they doing? Oh, it's broken again. And then it ends on Cloud City, and Cloud City stuff is great. This scene in particular, I'm not sure why Luke insists on dressing like he's still a potato farmer or whatever from Moisture Farm. I know it's Moisture Farm. From Tatooine, I don't understand why he's dressed like that. It's just on a repeat viewing, not seeing this movie in 12, 15 years. It's fine. It's good. It's got great moments. It's iconic. Sure, it's all those things. But it really is how some people say, like, these movies are for kids. These movies are not that deep. Well, they might be deep, but they're not that, like, this isn't Inception where you're like solving a mystery in your head for weeks after it. It isn't even something like Kill Bill that's really basic but has a lot going on. Like, it's just very, it knows what it is, and it's just a space fun time adventure. And that's all it is. That's all it is. Because even when people are in danger, it doesn't feel like they're in danger in this movie. It never, I mean, I guess if I hadn't seen it before, I might be worried. But it's not. There's nothing harrowing about it. And it's really good, and it's extremely impressive. Extremely impressive for the time, and I know it's been touched up. But it's not. I'm coming to the conclusion, and I still have to watch Jedi, coming to the conclusion that all 6 of these movies are roughly about the same. Now, granted, the prequels definitely lower in terms of dialogue. Maybe not acting. Acting sometimes definitely worse. But some of those moments in the prequels are great. The Darth Maul fight, phenomenal. I think the Dooku fight is great. A lot of the fights from the third one, also great. There's a ton of fantastic moments in the prequels, and there's a ton of fantastic moments in the original trilogy. Everyone needs to just stop yelling at each other. I think that's what the problem is. It's what and I saw the original trilogy first, before I saw the prequels. Granted, I was young. I was young when I saw all of these for the first time. So effectively, to me, they all feel like Star Wars, and they're all of the same nostalgia. Maybe that's the attitude to have. Just be glad we even got more movies. It is your life, right? You can watch episode 1 and skip all the Jar Jar scenes, and you should. It's going to be a better movie. For damn sure. But there's not a lot to say. There's really not a lot to say about Empire Strikes Back. It's good. It's a movie. It has Star Wars in it. Yay. Happy birthday, Star Wars. It's not Star Wars' birthday. Is it? No. I don't know. Maybe I'm just not, I just can't be excited about anything anymore. And we're just going to leave this scrolling thing up.